everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Shit on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here to talk about something that I've been personally looking forward to. American Pie Girls Rules. And first off, the title's trash. I mean, that title, I understand you had to make the fact known that this was going to be like a girl-centric American Pie film, but personally, I think they could have gone with a better title than that. I really think that title makes the movie sound worse than it actually is, because I actually think that it's a pretty good movie. I mean, see, that joke was funnier than the entire movie. I mean, seriously, I thought it was okay, to be quite honest. I think that it has its positives, it has its negatives, but overall, I think that it was okay. And I was glad that they made it, because I felt like it was a breath of fresh air. But then there was a lot of stuff in the movie that wasn't, and that was really my biggest issue with this movie, was the fact that there were so many out-of-date cliches. I mean, just some of the worst cliches, like the guys that the girls like are all pretty boys, and of course in this movie they try to disguise it as the pretty boys are the nerds, and it's like, yeah, no, they're pretty boys. And I thought, like, what? Like, you can tell they're not nerds. They're nothing like their characters are described as. Like, the guy from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, he's supposed to be a nerd. I mean, imagine that. The guy from... That's just ridiculous. And then the main guy, he's another nerd, apparently. But he's just... No effing way is he a nerd. And then I think that another cliche was... Well, okay, I don't want to get too much into detail, because I want to save that for my spoiler video, because I am going to make, like, an in-depth spoiler analysis of this movie. Because I think it'd be kind of funny if, like, the only movie this year that I did, like, a full-on spoiler analysis for would be an American Pie movie. I mean, that'd be pretty funny. And so that's what I'm going to do. But anyways, as I said, it's a breath of fresh air. I really actually like the main cast. I mean, there's some very pretty women, and they're good at acting, and so I thought they did a good job at casting a new cast. Like, I had my doubts. The trailer looked terrible. I was looking forward to ranting about this movie from the trailer, but I mean, the girl who plays Stifler, she is smoking hot, but she's not really Stifler, though. I think that's another issue, because her character is kind of woke. I mean, she's got several, like, woke lines, woke moments. She's nothing like Stifler. She's more of an athlete. I mean, she has a very athletic figure. And at one point in the movie, she even does something that's pretty unbelievable, considering who she does it to. And it's just, like, a lot of stuff in this movie just pointed to her being an athlete. And her arc in the movie is a lot like Oz's arc in the original American Pie. And so I really think that it would have been better if they had made her an athlete-type character instead, because she really wasn't Stifler at all. I mean, Stifler acted like he was, like, just on steroids all the time. He just had this, like, rage about him, and she really never does that in this movie. And when she does, it's kind of, like, unbelievable compared to the Stiflers that we've seen. And I will say, though, she's better than the Stifler in Bandcamp. She's better than the Stiflers in Naked Mile and Beta House. And so that's a win. She's the second best Stifler. just by default, because the other ones were kind of trash and they were just knockoffs and they were terrible. But anyways, other than that, the main Annie, she's the main girl. I thought she was really hot too, and she did a great job at playing a great relatable type, normal person main character. She wasn't too bad. I mean, there's a lot of like story things, like very cliched things, some bad writing here and there. But in terms of acting, she did a good job. The other girl, the girl obsessed with presidents, she did an okay job, but she was really just the stereotype. She was really like the most stereotyped character in the whole movie. I mean, her arc is that she's got to love this random loser that she doesn't even know about. And for some reason, like, it makes no sense. She's obsessed with a certain president, and then there's this other guy who's obsessed with this certain president, and she never even knew about it. No, that's not believable at all. Because I mean, it wasn't a very big school too. It's like, no, that's not realistic. And then finally, the creepy girl. She was the worst out of the group in terms of character. She was also very pretty, and she looks a lot like Phoebe Cates, which I think is really cool. I'm surprised, though, that since they got her, that they didn't add some sort of a Phoebe Cates style scene. Like, they didn't try to do any parody of any Fast Times at Ridgemont High or anything. And I thought that was kind of surprising, because she looks a lot like her, but hotter, to be honest. Because I've always thought that Phoebe Cates is extremely overrated. And I know I'm going to get a dislike for that, but I don't really give an F. And her character, though, is just trash. I mean, she's a complete creep. She looks through her boyfriend's phone. I mean, she does so many creepy, weird, gross things in this movie. And I didn't like her character at all. Except for the fact that I thought she's pretty. She's obviously good at acting like a crazy bitch. But, but the solution, apparently, this is a spoiler, the solution to her being a crazy, evil, creepy person is that he should just accept her. I mean, I just think that that's disgusting. I mean, that's not good. I mean, that's just, where does that fit into the original movie? I mean, come on, that was stupid. And other than that, the movie has one hilarious scene near the beginning. I think it happens like 20 minutes in. It's where the main girl buys something and she's trying it out, and it's just a hilarious scene. And I thought that scene was probably the best scene of the movie. And to be honest, it was almost funnier than everything in any American Pie movies since American Reunion. So take that, American Pie movies. Like, it was a fantastic scene. Other than that, there were some funny jokes here and there, but for the most part, the movie wasn't very funny. It was more so just cliched, played out, inoffensive, very woke at some points, especially near the end with certain characters. And I think that you shouldn't waste your money on it, to be honest. Like, I don't want to sound mean, because I'm not trying to be, but the movie overall is straight to DVD quality, and it's I guess I don't fully regret watching it because it had some good stuff in it, but I don't really think it's necessary. Like, I think that maybe it could have been rewritten. Like, there's this thing, like, at the beginning, they do a pact, like the original kids in the original movie. But it's like, who makes pacts nowadays? Like, what? People still make pacts? I mean, I just got out of high school a few years ago. People don't make packs anymore. And so what I think, actually, there's another character who's this perverted principal character. And this perverted principal, she is basically just extremely perverted. And so I thought maybe it would have been, and she's new in town, so I thought it would have been cool if instead she's the one who comes up with the pact. And they're like, what? Who makes pacts anymore? What's a pact? Like, something like that. I thought that would have been cool. That would have been a better... See, you could have done things like that to tweak the overall narrative, because the narrative was very cliche. I was able to predict, like, almost everything that happened. And then, one last thing. This is another spoiler, but I really don't think it matters. There's a scene where Stifler is talking to the guy from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and he calls her a Dementor, and she says, "What is a Dementor?" And it's like, well, seriously? You don't know what a Dementor is? Like, I'm sorry, but even the most shallow, basic bitch, popular girl would know what a Dementor is. And then she calls him a huge nerd. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, how is he a nerd for knowing something that, like, millions of people know? I mean, that's just common knowledge. You know how he could have been a nerd? Did you ever see that movie, House of Long Shadows? Or, something that we review on our channel? You know what I mean? Like, it'd have to be something like that. Like, Dementor? Really? That just wasn't funny. But there were some good jokes with him. I thought he did a good job. The main guy was a problem, though. He was such a pretty boy, pansy-ass little bitch. I mean, he was just... I wanted to punch him in the face. I mean, he's hitting on this girl knowing she has a boyfriend. He's terrible. He kisses her at one point. He's just the worst. And I really hated his character. And so I thought, you could have made him Stifler. And you could have made it so that he's the villain. And I mean, obviously you don't go too over the top with the feminism, making him like the man, the villain, whatever. But I think that would have worked better, to be honest. And so, because his character, I like the idea of all of them pining over this one guy. And like, instead of going after these individual people like in the original, they all have run-ins with this guy and just become obsessed with him. I thought that was a great idea. Totally original, totally fresh in terms of the American Pie series. But overall, we rate movies and TV shows in terms of food on this channel, and I haven't even done that. It's been 13 damn minutes. So I'm going to rate this movie, since it's different, I'm going to rate it something deconstructed, because that's what it is. And I would rate it deconstructed lemon chiffon pie. I'm not really a fan of lemon chiffon, but I like some things about it. A lot of the times the ingredients get screwed up, like the writing does with this movie at some points. And so the lemon chiffon, I really am not a fan, but if it's done well, I might be kind of a fan. And so that's what I would rate it. Lemon chiffon pie. And I can't wait to do spoilers, because I can't wait to destroy that guy. That pretty boy, Grant. Oh my God. He was just the worst. Wah! Oh, these girls like me, and they wanted to fuck me. Wah! Talk about first world problems. Jesus. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it even more, just subscribe to the channel so you can see more reviews. And then share this video with all your friends and family. And if anyone from the movie sees this review, maybe you keep on doing movies. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from trying again. I think that this movie was a good effort, and I don't think it was nearly as bad as it could have been. And to be honest, where it ranks in with the series is, I would say that the worst is Beta House, because it's just totally immature, honestly. And the Naked Mile, totally immature. I'm really not a fan of watching those types of immature movies anymore, like with the cheap humor and all the cheap nudity. I don't really like that anymore. And then next up would be Bandcamp, and then next up would be this movie. So yes, I do think it is the best movie since the original 4 movies. And I have not seen Book of Love because I thought it looked like trash. And if anyone thinks it's good, you're not going to convince me, because I've just got through watching 10 full moon feature films, and I don't want to torture myself anymore this year than I have to. So goodbye, everybody. See you soon for American Pie spoilers.